Hey now everybody, Jamie here, and I'm back again with another board game Oddities. Now this one, since I'm doing this in October, is a great game for Halloween. It's called Black Stories. Now this is a game that is a sort of deductive reasoning game. There's not much of a game to it, it's more of an activity. You're trying to get to the solution of a grisly murder or a gruesome accident that happened. Now, essentially what happens is you get a card, and on the front side of the card, there is a piece of a story and a picture and a title. On the other side of the card, you get the complete solution for what actually happened. And you, as the riddle master, are answering questions of all the players. The players are asking you questions that have to be a yes or no answer. And of course, if you're a lenient, riddle master, you can say that has no relevance to the solution. So ask another question and continue to answer. There's no points to this game. There's no winner. There's no loser. Well, I guess loser if you don't get to the solution in a timely manner. But essentially, there's no points to this game. It's a deductive reasoning game, more of an activity. Now, the designer of this game is Holger Bösch, and in the rule book, he talks about these kinds of games are called lateral thinking puzzles. Now, I never heard of that before, so I looked it up years ago when I got this game. And lateral thinking puzzles were, that term was coined in 1967 by a guy named Edward de Bono. And he wrote a book called The Use of Lateral Thinking. Essentially, lateral thinking is puzzle solving using reasoning as opposed to procedural logic. So essentially, you're trying to talk out a problem and reason out the answer, and you're trying to rule out all kinds of information so that eventually you drill down to what actually happened or what the solution to the puzzle is. It's kind of like when Spock says,
"An ancestor of mine maintained that if you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth."
This is kind of what you're doing in this game. Now, I'm going to go through one of these cards. Now, there's 50 in the box, and there's a number of different boxes with 50 in each of them. So I'm going to spoil one of them. I'll let you know exactly when I'm going to spoil the solution. But the front of this card says, "The Unseen Murderer. Although everyone was fascinated by the murderer, it happened completely unnoticed." Now, that's the only information that the players are going to get. Now, they got to start asking yes or no questions. So essentially, you look at the information, you break it down. All right, there's a group of people. They clearly are aware of a murderer, but they don't know that a murder happened. So you're okay. Was this group of people at a party? No. Okay, were they at a nightclub or a bar? No. Were they outdoors? Yes. Ooh, we got something there. All right, were they at a park? No. Were they in their car? Yes. More information. We ruled out a whole bunch of stuff there. Were they all in the same car? No. That's great. We got tons of information off of that. So you just keep asking those questions until you drill down to an answer. Now I'm going to give you the answer here. So the spoiler alert. Boom. A woman stabbed her husband to death just as another murder was taking place on screen at a drive-in theater. Now you can see how this kind of works, right? They were fascinated by the murderer on screen, and they didn't notice that the real murder actually happened. That's how the correlation goes. Now, of course, I think that they're worded a little weird in some cases. Like this one, I think I would have worded it differently on the front. It's a little misleading in some cases. But really, this is such a fun activity. I gotta tell you, I love doing this. I'll tell you how we play it. Like the one time we played it, I was going to a party at our buddy Chris's house, and my wife and I were there, and we were in the kitchen, and we got there a little early, so I pulled one of these out and read it, and they just started talking, and they started asking questions. About an hour went by, and they finally came to a solution that was really close to the one on the back of the box. And it was a really fun little activity for that hour. Could also see this being perfect for a couple living together. These cards could go on for days or even weeks, asking questions every day. You come up with a couple of questions and you ask them, just in passing, and you think about it, and you go on about your business for the day. And the next day you're like, got some more questions. And eventually you come to the solution. That could be a really rewarding sort of activity going on for a pretty good amount of time in a household. I think this is a really neat kind of concept for a game, but it definitely isn't for everybody. This could get very boring and very frustrating really quickly if you're not into this style of gameplay, this lateral thinking and this puzzle solving. there's no points. There's no winner, really. It's all cooperative, and the riddle master is trying to get you to the right answer no matter what. So you're not trying to beat him either. So a lot of people might not like that, but I really enjoy this activity. I think it's a really neat concept, and go out there, check out Black Stories if this sounds interesting to you. It could be a really fun Halloween activity.
Thanks so much, everybody. If you've enjoyed this video, please do us a giant favor by subscribing to the channel and clicking that wacky bell icon. If you're into board games, miniatures games, role-playing games, we have a bunch of audio podcasts you might enjoy. You can find those at thesecretcabal.com or on iTunes and Stitcher.